In the Galactic Assembly Hall, silence was law. Thousands of alien species sat in perfect order. Every seat faced forward. Every eye stayed locked on the central light pillar. There was only one rule repeated across the galaxy for centuries. Do not look behind the veil. No one ever asked why. Except the human. The human delegate, Eli Ward, sat among giants, machines, and beings of pure energy. He felt the pressure immediately. Every species feared the same thing. Behind the assembly wall was something hidden. Something ancient. Something watching. Eli noticed small signs. Alien leaders trembling. Translators glitching. Guards refusing to turn their heads. The longer the meeting went on, the more Eli felt it. A presence. Not hostile. Not kind. Just waiting. An elder species spoke through deep static. Human, your species is young. You are emotional. You must never look where we do not. Eli nodded. But his eyes kept drifting. Every instinct told him this rule was wrong. Humans had crossed oceans, stars, and wars because they looked where they were told not to. Welcome to my channel Starlight Sci-Fi Stories. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. The Galactic Assembly Hall was built to silence fear. It was larger than any city on Earth, wide enough to hold thousands of species from across the stars. The ceiling curved so high that it disappeared into soft white light. No shadows were allowed here, no dark corners. Everything was meant to feel safe, controlled, and eternal. Every seat faced forward. Every being, no matter how tall or small, organic or mechanical, kept their eyes on the same place. The central pillar of light. Behind the assembly wall, far beyond the smooth metal and glowing symbols, was something no one spoke about openly. Something hidden behind a barrier known only as the veil. And there was only one rule that mattered more than any law, treaty, or war agreement ever made. Do not look behind the veil. The rule was older than most civilizations. It existed before recorded galactic history. It was taught to children of every species, repeated in training halls, and enforced without question. No one ever explained why. They were simply told that looking would bring disaster. And so, for thousands of years, no one looked. Until the humans arrived. Eli Ward sat quietly in his assigned seat. He was smaller than almost everyone around him. To his left sat a towering insect-like being with layered armor instead of skin. To his right was a floating shape made of light and mist, held together by invisible force fields. Behind him were machines that had once been living minds, now preserved in metal shells. Eli kept his hands folded. He did not speak. He observed. That was the first thing the older species noticed about humans. They watched too much. They studied faces. They followed small changes in tone, movement, and silence. Other species found this uncomfortable. To Eli, it was normal. The assembly meeting had been going on for hours. Long speeches filled the air, translated instantly into every language. Topics were discussed with careful words: border control, energy sharing, trade routes, defensive planning. Everything sounded calm. Too calm. Eli felt it almost immediately. A pressure in the air that did not belong to sound or gravity. It was subtle, like the feeling of being watched when no one was there. He shifted slightly in his seat. No one else moved. That was strange. Species from across the galaxy had different customs. Some breathed heavy gases, some twitched constantly, some communicated through movement rather than sound. Yet here in this hall they were all unnaturally still. As if motion itself was dangerous. Eli's eyes drifted. Not fully, just a little. Behind the central pillar was a section of the wall that looked wrong, not damaged, not broken, just different. The light bent slightly near it. Sound felt thinner there. The veil. Eli had read about it during preparation briefings. The files were short, almost empty. Restricted. Do not inquire. Do not observe. No explanation. Humans hated missing explanations. Eli noticed something else. Fear. Not loud fear, not panic, but a deep ancient fear that lived beneath calm faces. Some alien leaders clenched their limbs tighter when the light dimmed slightly. Others stopped blinking altogether. A few machines rerouted power quietly, as if preparing for something they hoped would never come. Eli swallowed. Whatever was behind that wall, it terrified gods and monsters alike. And that made him curious. A speaker rose from the upper tier. The elder of the Violians, a species older than Earth's sun, addressed the assembly. Its voice came layered with static and echo, as if time itself struggled to translate it. The balance remains stable, the elder said. The veil holds. The silence continues. A soft wave of relief passed through the hall. Eli felt none. Instead, the pressure grew stronger. A low vibration hummed through the floor, not loud enough to trigger alarms, but real enough that Eli felt it in his bones. He glanced sideways. The insect-like being beside him trembled for half a second, then went still again. No one acknowledged it. The human delegation had been warned. Again and again. You must follow the rule, the guides had said. Do not ask questions. Do not turn. Do not stare. Humans had agreed. On paper. But paper never stopped human instincts. Eli's heart beat faster. He wasn't trying to rebel. He wasn't trying to cause trouble. Something deep inside him simply refused to accept blind obedience without reason. Humans survived because they questioned storms, predators, and the dark. They survived because they looked. Another speaker rose. This time the words were directed at Eli. Human representative, the elder said slowly. Your gaze wanders. Every eye in the assembly turned toward him. Eli felt heat rush to his face. I apologize, Eli said calmly, his voice echoed smaller than he felt. I was only listening. The elder studied him. You are young, it said. Your species is emotional. You do not understand the cost of curiosity. Eli nodded. I understand fear, he replied. My species knows it well. A murmur spread through the hall. Fear was not something openly discussed here. The elder's tone hardened. Fear keeps the galaxy alive, it said. Fear keeps the veil closed. The lights dimmed. Not fully, just enough. Every being stiffened. The hum beneath the floor grew louder. A low sound followed, like a distant cry filtered through stone and time. Several delegates flinched. One collapsed, overcome by panic. Guards moved silently, helping the fallen away without turning their heads. Eli's breath caught. That sound was not mechanical. It was alive. And it was suffering. Maintain focus, the assembly leader commanded. Do not acknowledge the disturbance. Do not acknowledge. Do not look. Do not think. Eli's hands clenched. The sound came again, stronger now. A wave of emotion washed over him, sharp and painful, not anger, not hunger. Loneliness. The kind that crushed hope slowly over centuries. Eli felt his eyes sting. This was wrong. Whatever lay behind the veil was not just dangerous. It was imprisoned. Eli stood. The sound of his chair sliding back echoed like thunder. Every conversation stopped. Weapons activated, shields hummed to life. 1,000 species reacted at once. Sit down, someone shouted. Human, do not move, another demanded. The elder's voice cut through them all. Human, it warned, you are about to make a mistake that will echo forever. Eli turned slowly. His body moved before his mind could stop it. No, Eli said quietly, I think this mistake has already lasted long enough. Do not turn, the assembly roared. But Eli turned his head. The veil shimmered. For the first time in recorded galactic history, a human looked directly at what was forbidden. Eli did not scream. He did not fall. He stared. And what he saw shattered everything he had been told. Behind the veil were not monsters. Not gods of destruction. They were beings of light and energy, vast and beautiful, bound by chains of force and silence. Their forms were cracked and dim, weakened by ages of isolation. Their eyes met Eli. Filled with pain. Filled with hope. Filled with a question no one else had dared to ask. Why did you wait so long? Eli felt tears fall freely now. The hall erupted into chaos. Alarms screamed, guards rushed forward, elders shouted in panic and rage. But Eli could not look away. He finally understood. The galaxy was not protecting itself. It was hiding. And it hated the human for seeing the truth. The alarms did not stop. They screamed through the galactic assembly hall in sharp waves of sound and light. Red symbols flashed across the curved walls. Shields rose between seats. Armed guardians moved into position, their weapons aimed not at the veil, but at the human who dared to look. Eli Ward did not move. He stood still, eyes locked on the beings behind the veil. The starborn forms shimmered softly, their light weak but steady. Chains of force wrapped around them like invisible prisons, pulling their energy inward, keeping them silent for centuries beyond counting. Eli felt their pain clearly now. It was not a sound. It was a feeling pressed directly into his mind. Loneliness. Endless waiting. Hope fading, then returning again and again, only to be crushed. Eli's breath shook. "This is wrong," he whispered. The elder leaders shouted orders, their voices layered with panic. "Guards, restrain the human. Do not allow him closer. Break his line of sight." But Eli took a step forward. The floor beneath him vibrated harder now, responding to his movement. The light pillar flickered. The veil reacted, rippling like disturbed water. The starborn beings noticed. For the first time in countless ages, someone on the other side had not turned away. "Human," the eldest voice thundered, filled with anger and fear. "You have no idea what you are doing." Eli did not look back. He spoke calmly, though his heart was racing. "You kept them here," he said. "You hid them. You let them suffer." A murmur of outrage spread across the assembly. "You call this suffering?" one leader shouted. "This is survival." The elder spoke again, slower now, more careful. "These beings were once rulers," it said. "They shaped stars, they bent time. They nearly destroyed the galaxy." Eli listened. But he did not turn away. "And so you locked them away," Eli replied. "Not to protect the galaxy, but to protect your power." Silence fell thick and heavy. The accusation struck deeper than any weapon. Eli took another step. The guards hesitated. Some lowered their weapons without realizing it. The starborn beings glowed brighter, sensing change. "You fear them," Eli continued. "But you fear the truth more. You fear that everything you built stands on a lie." The elder's voice trembled. "We made peace," it said. "We made order." Eli shook his head slowly. "No," he said. "You made silence." The veil pulsed. Symbols appeared across its surface, ancient and complex. Energy surged through hidden systems older than many civilizations. The galaxy's greatest secret stood between remaining locked or breaking open. Eli saw it clearly now. The veil was not just a barrier. It was a control system. A prison powered by fear and agreement. No single species could open it. But a species that did not belong to the old pact. A species that had never agreed to look away. "Could. Human," the elder said quietly now, almost pleading. "If you free them, there will be chaos. Wars. Collapse. You will be hated." Eli smiled sadly. "We're used to that." He placed his hand against the control seal. The surface was warm. Alive. The entire assembly erupted. "Stop him. He will end us all." Weapons fired. But they never reached him. A soft barrier of light rose from the veil itself, protecting Eli. The starborn beings were shielding him. They trusted him. Eli closed his eyes for a moment. Then he pressed down. The veil shattered. Not violently. Not loudly. It broke like glass dissolving into air. A wave of light swept across the assembly hall, warm and powerful. Every being felt it pass through them. Fear vanished for a single, impossible moment. The chains around the starborn beings dissolved. Their light surged outward, filling the hall with colors no language could name. Many delegates collapsed, overwhelmed. Some cried. Some knelt. The starborn beings rose slowly, stretching their forms for the first time in ages. They did not attack. They did not roar. They looked around. Then they turned to Eli. One of them spoke, not with sound but with shared thought. "You saw us." Eli swallowed. "Yes," he whispered. "You did not turn away." "No," Eli replied. The being's light softened. "Others feared what we were. You saw what we became." Eli felt tears fall again. "You should never have been imprisoned," he said. "No one deserves that." The being hovered closer. "We waited for someone like you." The elder leaders struggled to stand. "You cannot stay," one of them said weakly. "The galaxy will not forgive this." The starborn beings turned slowly. Their presence was vast now but calm. "We do not seek revenge," they said. "We seek truth." They looked back at Eli. And balance. Security forces surrounded the human delegation. Eli did not resist. He allowed himself to be escorted forward, standing alone beneath the broken veil. The assembly leader spoke, voice cold and final. "Humanity has violated the highest law. You are declared a destabilizing species. You will be removed from the assembly." No one argued. Even those who felt relief were afraid to speak. Eli nodded. "That's fine," he said simply. As he was led away, the starborn beings moved aside, clearing a path. Every species watched in silence. Some with anger. Some with fear. Some with something new. Respect. At the hall's edge, the eldest elder spoke one last time, barely audible. "We should have known," it said. "Only humans would look where they were told not to." Eli paused. He turned back once. "Someone had to," he said. Then he left. Humanity was expelled. Trade routes closed. Borders hardened. Warnings spread across the galaxy. Humans are dangerous. Humans do not obey. Humans cannot be trusted. But something else spread too. Hope. Quiet questions. Young species began to wonder what else they had been told not to see. And far beyond the assembly hall, among the stars once ruled by fear, the starborn beings watched humanity carefully. Not as rulers. Not as gods. But as equals. The galaxy had rules. Humans had choices. And they had chosen to look.